Hi guys, this is Mr. Urrego. Today we're gonna find the rational zeros of a function. The rational zeros of a function. Okay, so basically we need to solve this polynomial. We gotta find all the zeros, all the roots, all the what else can we solve that? All the x-intercepts here, and we're graphing. Well, the idea is let's not get confused. Rational zeros. To find the rational zeros, we gotta find. We're gonna do P over Q. P over Q. Okay, P over Q. So P, first of all, P, all the factors of my constant. P, all the factors of my constant. Q, all the factors of my leading coefficient. All right, so it's gonna get a little bit long, but it's easy work. So P. Let's factor P. Let's factor 40. So 40 is going to be 41, 20 times 2, 10 times 4, 8 times 5, and I don't think anything else would go there. Q. 2 times 1, that's it. Now we need to think that it could be positives, or you can do also two negatives. Negative 40 times negative 1 is positive 40. So being that we can use negatives also, in all of them, we're able to use negatives. So let's write it again. So P is going to be plus or minus. I'm going to use the plus and the minus to cover both signs. Plus or minus 1, and I'm going to do it in order. Plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 5, and it's going to get long. Plus or minus 8. I'm going to go underneath. Plus or minus 10, plus or minus 20, plus or minus 40. All of those are the possible factors for our constant, which is 40. Now let's do Q. Q, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, nothing else. The way we solve, the way we list the possible zeros is by doing P over Q. P, all the zeros, all the possible zeros. So I gotta bring that list again. It's a long list, but nothing we can do. Plus or minus 4, plus or minus 5. Plus or minus, where am I? 8. Plus or minus 10. 20. 40. Everything over all the factors of Q, which doesn't have too many, so I'm going to have plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. Now, the question was list all the possible zeros. So now I'm up to that point, P over Q. But I have a fraction right now, which means I'm going to grab all of the factors from the top, all of these factors, and divide them by 1. Okay, that's the first thing that I have to do. So guess what? I gotta write all of them again. So P over Q. P over Q. And this list is gonna get long. Plus or minus 1. Remember, I'm dividing every single one of them by the bottom. By the one on the bottom, which is basically the same value. So plus or minus 1. 2. I'm going to stop. Now I have all of them divided by 1. Now, right now, what I'm going to do is all of them divided by the 2. And if I have more terms, then I will be divided by next one, next one, next one, and so on and so forth. So sometimes it gets really long, but you know, not for algebra 2 right now. I'm just going to keep it simple. So, okay. So I'm doing divided by 2. If I have the value already as one of these values, I don't have to write it again. Okay, so I don't have to repeat the same value twice. So let's start. 1 over 2. So I need to add that to a list. Plus or minus 1/2. Next, 2 over 2. That's going to give me 1, and I already have it. So now, 2 over 4. Next, 4 divided by 2. That's 2. I have it already. 5 over 2, I don't have it, so I need to add it to a list. So I'm going to put it on the bottom. 5 over 2. 8 over 2, that's 4. 10 over 2, that's 5. 20 over 2, that's 10. 40 over 2, that's 20. So those are the list of my possible zeros. So this will be my answer if my answer was asking about listing the possible zeros. Once I have this, I need to find the rational zeros. I need to actually solve. I need to find the values of x that will make them equal to 0. That's why we call it zeros. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring that trinomial. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to start doing synthetic division with that equation. So now I'm ready. Okay, so I might have my possible zeros. Again, just possible, because the maximum amount of zeros that I can have here in this function is given by that exponent. So the amount of zeros that I'm going to get is 3, because that's my highest exponent. That's the degree of the function. So out of all this, there are only 3 possible that are going to satisfy that equation. Okay, so but let's not go crazy with that and then just solve it. So now we're going to do synthetic division. Synthetic division, I check this first. I got to check if there's anything missing. I got to check if there's anything missing here and fill out any zeros that are missing and start using those values from the top. So I see that we're missing the x squared. So let me rewrite this again. So we have 2x cubed. Because there's no x squared, I need to put 0x squared. I have an x, so I bring that x down. And then I bring my constant. Remember, if there's no constant, then you put a 0. Okay? Whatever's missing, you got to put a 0 there. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring my coefficients down, and I'm going to start using those zeros from here. I start with positive 1, then negative 1, positive 2, negative 2, until I get 0 as a remainder. All right, so let's start using synthetic division. There you go. There we go. All right. First step. All the coefficients. 2, 0, negative 42, positive 40. My box divided by. I'm going to divide that, and I said that I was going to bring my first value was a 1. So let's try the 1 and see if it works. To do synthetic division, here's the process. The first value comes all the way outside the box. The number that is outside multiplies that, and my answer goes in here. The numbers inside, they add. Whatever's on the outside multiplies the 1. Answer goes in there. Numbers in the inside, they add. Keep going the process. 1 times negative 40. Wow, negative 40. Add, and that gives me a 0. Woohoo, nice. So because I got a 0 as a remainder, that means the value that I was using, this one, is one of the answers. So x equals 1 is my first answer. All right, and if you notice, it just took me only the first value. Sometimes it takes a couple of values to find the first answer, but we're lucky right now. So x equals 1. Now, let me rewrite the answer. Because my original problem was x to the third power. My original problem was x to the third power. I'm highlighting here in the top left. Then when I go through synthetic division, my answer is going to drop 1 down. The exponent is going to drop 1. Again, if the original was x cubed, then once I go through synthetic division, my answer is going to have x squared. It drops 1. The exponent goes down 1. After that, I just follow an order. After the x squared, the next value will be the x. So I use that number as a coefficient for my next value. After that, so I go x squared, x, and that will be my constant. Because your remainder is 0. That's what I'm looking for. At this point, I need to solve this. I need to solve this trinomial. Either you do factoring or you do the quadratic formula. So to practice, I'm going to do the quadratic formula. So I'm going to bring the quadratic formula. And then I'm going to apply it to find the other two answers from this cubic function. So negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Remember, a is in front of the x squared, b in front of the x, c is your constant. Replace it back. X equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a, which is a 2, times c, which is a negative 40. All of it divided by 2 times a. And my a is 2. Next step. We'll do it purple. Okay. X equals negative 2 plus or minus 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 40, that's going to be positive 8 times 4, 320 over 4. Let me double check the math. So I'm going to have x equals negative 2 plus or minus 4 plus 320. 320 is going to be 324 over 4, which is equal to negative 2 plus or minus square root 324, 18 over 4. And now this is going to give me two answers, one with the plus, one with the minus. So I'm going to have negative 2 plus 18 divided by 4. And your answer is going to be negative 2 minus 18 divided by 4. So here in the top, negative 2 plus 18, 16 divided by 4 is 4. And that's my second answer. Let's find the last one. Negative 2 minus 18 is negative 20 divided by 4, negative 5. So my final answer will be putting the three answers together, which is x equals 1, x equals 4, x equals negative 5. Answer: x equals 1, x equals 4, x equals negative 5. Horrible file, I'm sorry. And that will be the way you find the rational zeros. Listing and finding the rational zeros. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening. Subscribe to the channel, please. Study, practice. Take care. Bye-bye.